audience questions today that I'll ask after our.
I've been made aware.
I got some questions from the audience. Dang, she didn't trust me.
The one out of 500,000.
Right.
How did you ever find it in the DM? Oh my God. You had to search, my friend.
You feel me? Did she want the questions out in the like pre-chat like we did last time, or she wanted during? Because all of this can be in if you want to say it now, I guess.
Oh no, she wants it in the actual thing.
Oh well, because she told me she wanted it, I guess, because she enjoyed, I guess, our little pre-chatter from last week.
Oh,
I don't even know what we talked about.
I got.
We were talking about the Trap, T.I. in the movie The Trap and all that, and how it was a bad movie.
Oh, I didn't see it. I don't think.
Yeah. You didn't see it, but me and Kelly was talking about it, and then Tara started talking about Tupac movies and all that type of thing.
Okay.
I was gonna throw it in after our intros, but I can do it whenever.
Okay.
Well, it's gonna cut off. We'll just.
I mean, I would have kept it in if it was something worth keeping, but I guess if we're gonna wait.
Yeah, we wait. You cut
fuck
off.
it.
Top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world. Top of the world. Yeah, top of the world.
Let me know whenever my mic doesn't sound bad.
It doesn't sound bad.
Sounds fine now?
Yeah.
Great. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Worst Ones podcast. I have to wait for my situation to get right. My name is Rudy Wilson. I am a preacher's kid. We got Janessa, Rowland, Kellie, Lee, Terry Wayne. We're all PKs and we're all bad as fuck. How are you guys doing?
Negative. I'm a good
Doing
girl.
well.
There are saints and sinners here.
Gotcha. Maybe I think you guys are all just sinners who fell down but got up. Let's try that. Kellie, let's start with you. How are you? You were out on the West Coast with the Bloods and the Crips. What's about?
Yeah, I went out to Inglewood the other day.
There you go.
Rode in, rode out.
Didn't stay long. Gotcha.
But no, out in LA, been here for almost a week now. Got here last Thursday. I leave on Sunday. It's been a wonderful time, good time. I feel like I've maximized my days a little better. I'm up at like 6, 7 o'clock in the morning.
There you go.
Because in Atlanta world, it's 9, 10.
Right.
So, but no, I've had a wonderful time in Rudy's old spot. Rudy,
there you go.
A really nice area to live in, guys. Like, ladies out there, if you can snatch Rudy up, trust him when buying a home. I mean, very walkable area, safe area, nice area. I'm not just trapped in the house all day. I can walk out to some stores, to the mall. I'm like, come on, Rudy. I feel safe. We do little morning runs and walks and around the neighborhood. Rudy, I said, come through, Rudy.
Okay, Rudy.
Right. I said, he did this by himself.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Larnell was there a little bit. She was.
Sounds about right.
We found it together.
Kelly, I think she found it.
That makes no sense because I was like, dang, Rudy, he did a really good job. I was really waiting to tell the ladies today. If you snatch up Rudy, let him choose what y'all lit like.
I have you lit now. I got you lit. I can't afford it right now, but I can show you where to go.
But you know how to live. But no, been a good time. Rudy, remember I got some stories to tell you about some of your neighbors, your past neighbors after the after the podcast. Give you some updates.
Okay.
On what I've experienced here in your hood.
Gotcha.
But no, it's been great. No complaints. I could stay another week or two. I may move out here.
Hey, there you go.
I'm staying in Atlanta.
It's like, no,
I'm staying in Atlanta.
Gotcha. Shout out to Burbank. Okay.
Yeah, but a nice time.
That's what's up. Have you eaten I guess LA stuff, Randy's Donuts, all that type of stuff?
Went by Randy. See, I went by Randy's Donuts, but I didn't get a donut. Went by In-N-Out, but did not have a burger. Went to I did go to this soul food spot out in Inglewood that was really good. Got some fish and grits.
Was it the Silver Spoon? Was it? Or
Yeah,
was it
that
another?
one.
Yeah, Silver Spoon. They fire. Yeah.
That was really good. Where else have we gone? Y'all have donuts. There's a lot of donuts. So
oh my gosh, donuts is crazy out there.
Are they like
ramen.
boutique spots? Or are they like Krispy Kreme?
Everything,
both, all of it.
Storefront, drive-through, and every last one of them all say like what do they call it? Like a classic or historic, like the best ever. They all got this like they've been doing this for years. Like no, we don't know you.
Right. So yeah, we've had donuts just about every day.
Gotcha.
Ramen isn't ramen big out there? Every time I go there, I feel like I see like a million ramen places.
See, I don't eat ramen, and it's so funny because my friend wanted to go tonight. And I told her I would try it again, but I don't eat ramen, so I haven't really paid attention to it. But like I said, did a good job. Went to Beverly Hills, Rodeo Drive. We went to Hollywood. Got a picture in front of the Hollywood sign from afar, like I didn't, climb the mountain.
Climb the mountain.
Did some touristy things. That's what I love about Reset. Both of us just like to do things. Just like let's just go out to the Hollywood Walk of Fame, and let's go to the Wax Museum, and let's just go, do random stuff. So it's been a great time. Volcano. I heard Mr. Gene was in love with Volcano, Rudy. The little
I know what it is. I'm trying to think that I ever have it though. I don't know if I have Volcano.
So I'm looking forward to some of that LA special here.
Gotcha.
At some point before I leave, I may need to change my flight to stay a couple more days, man.
Yeah.
I need to do.
Hey, do it while you can.
You said what?
I said do it while you can.
Exactly. I may need to stay. Me and Lil Reese been hanging out. I've been a dog god mom.
Right.
This week, so that's been fun. So it's been a good time. I can't complain. I needed this. Now my personal journey. I told myself that I wanted to leave a different person than I came in. I was here I'll be here 10 days. So I said I wanted to leave a different person. So it's been a good time.
Go to West Hollywood. They'll change you.
West Hollywood?
Yeah, they'll change you over there.
What's in West Hollywood?
It's just a little rough. That's all.
A little rough?
Yeah, it's where the weirdos hang out.
Okay. I'm gonna have to swing through then. I have to swing through. So yeah, I can't complain. It's been a wonderful, wonderful week.
Dope.
For sure.
Dope. Liddy. Okay. Well, Terry Wayne, I don't know if you can follow that, but how has your wonderful week been?
I can't follow that. No, I just did fireworks with my nephews and my brother-in-law. Yeah, nice barbecue. I made some fresh ceviche and. Yep.
Are you gonna make us some fresh ceviche when we come visit?
Sure.
And a pie.
It's easy.
Right, and a pie.
Yeah. Oh, and the pies. Yeah.
Can I ask what is ceviche? I have no idea what that is.
It's fish or shellfish, and it's cooked using citrus instead of heat. You brine it basically in lemon and lime juice, and it cooks it. You have to use easy meat like whitefish or like shrimp, lobster, something like that.
Gotcha. Gotcha. Okay.
Mine was shrimp and lobster on this last one. So.
That sounds delightful.
Yeah. Well, they had lobster tails on sale for like $6. So. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. That's what's up. All right, Janessa, what you got? First of all, is somebody typing? It sounds like somebody.
I hear it too. I wonder if it's me. I told y'all today I'm a little bit late.
Okay, well, go ahead, Janessa. I'll test out the mutes while you talk.
No, everything Everything's going good. We had a little cookout with my family for the Juneteenth part 2. And it was good. It was actually the first time we've seen like extended family because of the pandemic. So I didn't realize we have so many new faces in our families, like in terms of babies and toddlers and all of that. I think we had between Jessica's kids, Joy's kids, my cousin's kids, and my boyfriend, he brought his daughter. It was like 12 kids or something. It was a lot.
Who's Joyous?
Joy's my cousin.
Oh, Joy. Oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah. So just literally between 4 girls, it was like 12 kids. It was a lot. Gotcha. So that was fun. We did fireworks, but not like Terry's fireworks. You know, we did a little snap, crackle, and pop type of fireworks. So yeah, it was
Now
good.
we're just throwing the poppers on the ground.
Right. Right.
Have fun.
Exactly. All the kids are under 7, so we had to have, child appropriate fireworks.
Yeah.
So,
Sparklers and whatnot.
yeah, sparklers and poppers. Yeah. But yeah, that was good. That's it.
Y'all did this at somebody's house?
Jessica's house, my sister's house. Yeah.
Gotcha. You on mute, Kelly, if you was trying to say something. Oh, you said you wasn't?
No, well, I was saying, that's so nice.
Oh.
The host of July 4th shindig for the family.
Yeah.
It was. And, we could put this on our podcast for another day, but one of the things I love that our family does, shout out to my sister for pioneering it, but she makes a signature cocktail for every family function. And, before, I feel like in my family that would have never flew. But now it's like, oh, baby, give me another one. And, the uncles, they be like, give me another cup of that. So shout out to Jessica. But she really wants to do like mixology on the side, low key. Like she really is serious about crafting drinks and whatever. So if she want to practice on us, that's cool. I'm not complaining.
So she does drinks like I do pies. Got
it. You mixing your pies, Terry? Peach and cherry. You mix them?
Oh yeah.
Mix them all.
Black and blueberry. Blackberry. Yeah. Black and blue goes really well together.
Gotcha. Gotcha. That's what's up, man. Y'all definitely had more festive holidays than I've had. I've been doing the same things when it wasn't a holiday. I did mention there were some comedians who were, I guess, they had their own set of fireworks and firecrackers. They did them like after this show we did on Saturday, which is the 3rd of July. So I mean, I didn't necessarily participate, but I mean, I was there when it happened. So but that's about it. That's about it. It's nothing much. The lights went out during the show. That was pretty cool. Like it went out on the whole block.
Where was it?
At Villain Theater.
Oh, okay.
in Little Haiti. And like, because even like the little street lights or whatever was out as well. But then it came back on like when it was like one more person before me. So I looked up. I mean, the crowd and stuff stayed, and they had like these battery powered spotlights, so they were able to see the comic, but they just didn't have no microphone, or whatever. But Villain, it's big enough, but it's also compact enough where you can perform without a mic and you'll still be okay. Because it's also like an improv theater, so they do like a lot of improv there without mics and stuff. So you talk loud enough, you'll get it across. But yeah,
gotcha.
That's about it. Nothing too major at all. So I'm in Miami right now, actually. Always somewhere different. And
speaking of you being back in Miami, I got a question. One, is it me staticking?
Yes.
Is that me? Okay. Yeah, absolutely. I remember going back to my cell phone back before I got my computer. I had all the difficulties and stuff. Sorry, y'all, I'm repeating myself today. But speaking of Miami, Rudy, we had some questions from one of our 5 million listeners.
Okay.
So I had to, so we had a lot of DMs. Our DMs were popping this week. and had a couple of questions. And so one of the questions for you, speaking of Miami is where you had that dentist appointment that time, right? And you stayed an extra week to go to the dentist, and then they canceled your appointment, and then you left.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
so one of our listeners asked, now, did you ever make it to the dentist to get your teeth cleaned or whatever you needed done? That was a few months ago.
Yeah. Yes. The short answer is yes. I've definitely been to the dentist since then. But I do have another appointment coming up shortly. But there has been one since the one that they canceled on me, making me wait here for a whole extra week for no reason. Yes, that's that.
The people are concerned about you. They're concerned about your dental health.
It's my sister. That's why. That's why.
And Terry, another listener asked about your car situation, that you thought the transmission was blown.
Oh yeah.
What happened with that?
It turned out to be a coil on one of my cylinders. So I ended up getting it fixed. About, I don't know. Rear differential needed some work too, so it cost me about $1,000. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, it's better than the transmission because that would have been $3,000.
Oh yeah.
That would have been a new car.
No. You don't do a new car just because the tranny goes out. My car's still fired. So.
Good. Glad you're back on the road, Terry. Glad you're back on the road. Janessa, the listener had a question for you as well. They asked about the reinforcement of your bookcase, and if it's going to stay intact today, or if they are going to have to move.
That sounds like shade.
Yeah.
Because I love our listeners. I know you genuinely care.
They listen to the podcast on Apple Podcasts. They have to pause, look at the time, and then go to YouTube so they today they were gonna have to do that or not, or did you find something?
It hasn't fallen in about 2 weeks. Those command strips are hanging tight. So
who do we need to give an ad to? Get that
command. Right. Terry, you're supposed to be our ad guy.
I told you I'm working on it. Stamps.com.
Command strip.
Just
command strip.
It's the same glue the command strips they use on the stamps. It's the same.
Right.
Exactly right.
Yes.
It's all the same. Gotcha.
So the listener also
there was also one question for you, Kelly. Yeah, I read the DMs too.
So you in the DMs as well. Okay.
Yeah. They wanted to know whatever got popping with that date to the strip club. Did you ever hit the strip club with old boy? And if not, or if so, why or why not?
So we never made it to the strip club. I prayed about it, and I guess the Lord said no.
Okay.
We'll see next week, though. No, I'm like, no.
It's like I prayed again. Then God said maybe for some reason. I'm not sure.
But no, as of right now, I haven't made it to the strip club. Nothing. I just really it was timing. Really it's just out of convenience and time, and it just hasn't worked out. We'll see if we go. Our relationship, our friendship has kind of shifted a little bit. So we'll see if we go or not.
Not a shift in the atmosphere.
See. Huh?
I said not a shift in the atmosphere.
Again, I prayed about it. I prayed about it.
Gotcha.
So
okay.
We'll see where it goes, but no strip club just yet.
Gotcha.
We'll get you. We'll get you sooner or later.
Me and Terry gonna have a show there.
Yeah.
I'll be your date, Kelly. We can go together.
You feel me?
This is getting hotter by the second.
Gotcha.
Well, thank you.
All right. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Continue to send those messages in the DM that you see both Rudy and myself go through them.
Or they get delivered to us personally. However you want to look at it.
Right. However you want to do it. We love to have it.
DM, direct text message, actual phone call. I don't know. Whatever you want to do. All right, cool, man. Well, let's get into this topic. Terry, I guess the floor is yours, man. You want to take it away?
Well, we started talking about this last week, and everybody jumped on it. So, yeah, is it if you routinely go to the same church and never give them any money, is it stealing?
Because you're benefiting from.
You're getting something. You're getting a product or a service. Now, I've thought about this quite a bit, and it can go either way. It really can, because if you go into a restaurant and you eat, like, we should all have the right to food, right? But if you leave without paying, it's stealing. I think we can all agree on that. Well, if you go to the church and you get everything you need from there and you don't help them out either.
But the food has a price on it before you order it. You know what I'm saying? Like, it comes with a price tag. Like, nothing in church just say necessarily has a price tag that is a requirement to pay, if that makes sense.
Right.
Like, yes, the church does need money, but like it won't be stealing the same way it is with food, because food actually, it's not like you went into a place where food was free and then got charged. You went into a place where food was being charged and right. You paid, you know, or didn't pay or whatever. But
right, but in the same way.
But with church, the sermon doesn't cost $9.99. You know what I'm saying? Like it doesn't, you know, the prayer, the praise and worship, the devotion, the scripture reading, the whatever. None of that has a set. This is what you have to, because the church is what do you call it? 501c3. What's it called?
It's a nonprofit.
Nonprofit. I was about to say non-denominational. I'm tripping. So. But so it's a nonprofit. So I'm saying, in the sense of the whole food thing, I don't think that's the same, because a food place isn't nonprofit. Like, you pay.
But if you don't pay, if nobody pays for their food, there won't be a restaurant for very long. And that's the same.
Well, yeah, but that's also
church.
because right. But I'm saying, but to say that you're stealing food and to say that you're stealing from the church is different, because once again, the church has more of a standard of, this is what God says you pay, 10%, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Now, of course, we did talk about last week the $200 line and all that, but that's a different story. But even just the basics, 10% of your income plus offering, that's like, well, yeah, that is what that is. But I'm saying, but that is what you just say, desire of the people. Mm-hmm. But if they walk in there every day and never pay that, they're not going to go to jail for that. They're not breaking the law. They're not, you know what I'm saying? It's not a crime.
Oh, I don't mean stealing in the legal sense. I mean stealing in the biblical sense. I
get it, but I'm saying, but even in the biblical sense, like, it's still, even going by abiding by the laws of the land. Like, the laws of the land don't say you can, steal food, but you can definitely go to church and not pay. And not be just criminalized, I guess, for it.
Well, let me put it this way then. If you have the ability to, and you don't, so we could take it two different ways. We could take it as like somebody doesn't have any money, they're broke, they're at the church, or whatever. That's one thing. But somebody who has the ability to say, pay their tithes or give an offering or something like that, and just chooses not to. Morally, is that taking something for nothing?
Yeah, I mean, yes, but I still think that's different than the food is my whole thing. I wasn't necessarily saying that it was right or wrong to not pay to go to church, but it's definitely not the same as stealing food, because church does not have a set price tag, is what I'm saying.
10%.
But I'm saying, but it's not that's like this is what I'm asking of you, but it's there is At least in the natural. Now, if God's sending you to hell for not tithing, you're on your own. I can't help you with that. But I'm saying, in the natural, like you're not going to be just say put in a bad position for going to church and not paying. You know what I'm saying? Like as opposed to if you went to Applebee's and not paid, immediately something's going to happen as a repercussion. That's what I'm just saying as far as the food comparison. Go ahead, Kelly.
So I've heard pastors talk about, and we've talked about the prosperity preachers a lot. You know, that your blessings are tied into giving your tithes and your offering. And so I wonder if, so I'll be personal for a second. Do I tithe every check? um,
Do you tithe at all? Let's get there first.
So we can start there. So
I'm starting to be concerned.
I definitely tithe. Do I give a 10th on the last day of the month and the 15th? I can do better about it. When the question was brought up last week about is it stealing? That hit because I'm like, man, I do know that the expectation is that I give a 10th. And all that God has blessed me with, a 10th is a small portion. And you've also heard, like I was saying earlier, you've heard pastors say, I've heard pastors wrap your blessings in money. So whereas I guess to the food analogy, you know, there's a consequence when you walk out of Applebee's and you don't pay. They're going to call the police. You know, you may get arrested. You know, whatever.
Right.
Y'all out here getting arrested for stealing food from Applebee's. Never mind. But you get arrested, you know, or whatever. Where spiritually, morally, it's, you know, I feel like the church has made me feel like, oh, when I didn't get that promotion, when I didn't get the job, when I didn't, when I wasn't approved for the loan, when I didn't have random money coming in, when I didn't, you know, oh, maybe I'm 33 and not married because I don't pay my tithes. Right. I feel like the church has sometimes made me feel that way, you know, in the sense of, is it stealing? In that spiritual moral sense, I can see, I don't know if I'm making sense. I don't know if I really believe it, but I can see that connection there as far as this is what the expectation is and this is what the consequences are. Although I don't believe that the Lord works like that at all. But I feel like that's what I've gotten from the church, that yes, I can see where Christians would say that it is stealing and that there are blessings that you miss because you don't tithe, especially to the people Terry talked about that are able to give and don't give. I can see where Christians would say yes. My own personal belief, come back to me, but that's where I am right now.
Okay.
Well, I have a few thoughts. I'm gonna try to keep them as organized as I can. But one, now this is something my dad used to say, which is true and is very churchy. But technically, nothing we own is ours. It belongs to God. So you can't steal from. It can't be considered stealing when you don't own it to begin with. But
damn. Okay.
That's an interesting way to look. Okay.
Well, taking something that you don't own is literally the definition of stealing.
Yeah, but I guess it's from the perspective of like all of it belongs to God, and we're just temporarily been stewards over this. So at the very end of the day, it's not the churches to steal from. It at the end of the day, you're really stealing from God because it's His. But I think for me, it comes down to heart check, because a lot of people, live paycheck to paycheck and legit might not have it like period to tithe. They may want to tithe, but tithing may mean not paying rent, or bills or whatever. And so when I think about people in those situations, and I don't want to say, oh, they're stealing. Maybe they are contributing to the church in other ways. Maybe they're participating in ministry. Maybe they are donating clothes, food, working at the food drive. Maybe they are contributing to the church in other ways that are not financial. So saying if you're not tithing, especially if you can't at your current situation, do that 10%, I wouldn't be so quick to say, oh, that person's stealing. I don't know. I also think not all churches, but some churches receive funding from other organizations, so they don't fully rely on tithes and offerings to sustain their church. So I guess it just kind of comes down to a church by church basis in different opinions on tithing or offering. But I just think at the end of the day, God's more concerned about your heart, your intentions, what you did do, what you did, than if you gave 10% every paycheck, every birthday present, every, gift card you got. Because some people like to go real technical. Any type of income you get or any type of thing you get monetary, you're supposed to tithe. And then, of course, you're also, from my understanding, y'all can pitch in on your thoughts. You're supposed to tithe. I don't know the difference. Which is the one pre-tax?
Gross.
That you're supposed to tax that, tithe that. And, it's tithing, I think, is a little complicated. Everybody kind of has their own interpretation of what it is. So I don't know. I don't know. I just have different thoughts. I don't know if they're right or not.
Do you think, Janessa, just out of curiosity with the food scenario, would you equate stealing food equivalent to just say to going to church and not paying anything, tithes or offering or anything?
No.
Even morally, like, do you think it's just as wrong, let's just say, or like to steal from a restaurant as it is to, I guess, say, quote unquote, steal from church by not paying anything, even though there's not a price tag, a specific price tag that, requirement?
I don't equate them as equal at all. Because I do agree there's, like you said with the Applebee's, like there's a menu, there's price list, like, going in, right. That's the requirement. And if we had that same logic to God, that I feel like that's not God. God's not going to say, okay, you can only come to me and you can only be a child of God and you can only be a part of this church and be a part of my family if you paying money.
Right.
That sounds crazy coming from the church.
Yeah.
Well, should the church have a cover charge?
Like every Sunday?
At the door.
At the door.
Hey, let the deacon be security,
Yes.
patting everybody down.
Well, like,
hey,
for instance,
it's a dress code. You can't come in here with no tennis shoes on.
Terry, I think some churches, I do think some churches make up for the money that they don't get in tithes in other ways. Like, okay, you have this conference and you charge for it, or you have a special guest gospel artist and you charge for that concert ticket. Yeah, you have to pay for, the artist more than likely, but you're also recouping some of that money for you as well. So I think church, like we talked about in previous podcasts, church is a business at the end of the day. We don't like to talk about it.
Yeah. We
don't like to talk about it a lot, that church is a business, but there are other ways to get money than tithes and offering.
Well, I keep going back to this. There's a story about the story in the Bible about the woman putting her 2 pennies in humbly. You know that story?
Terry, you need to start bringing the Bible with you to the podcast. You always bring it up Bible stories.
Isn't
But
that
don't
what
know,
we do here?
you gotta quote it or something. At least say where it's at. We don't.
Okay. No, I mean, that's what I kept coming back to was, a rich man, he gives a bunch of money because he has a bunch of money to give, but it would be like Bill Gates giving you $100,000. Seems like a lot to you, but it's not a lot to him. Whereas you had this beggar woman who only had 2 cents and gave all of it to the temple, so it was looked on more favorably. Do you see what I'm saying? So it doesn't necessarily, in my opinion, I take away from that, it doesn't, the amount doesn't matter. What matters is the amount you're willing to sacrifice. So like Janessa said, it could be something like giving your time, or maybe you know how to do something, or maybe you can help, because you don't have any money. But when I talk about not giving back, that's what I mean. I mean, not doing anything, even though you're capable of doing something.
Right.
Because there are people that just take.
So what I'm saying,
in the world.
So let me ask you this. So Terry, so do you think that's the same as saying like, so if I'm homeless, broke, I ain't got $1 to my name, I go in Applebee's, sit down, order, chow down, and then run the fuck up out there, like get up out of there, I steal the meal. You're telling me, and I'm just asking a general question. So you're saying that's better than a person who has money and runs out on the meal?
I think in that situation it's more understandable, but I definitely think it's less morally reprehensible.
But I'm saying, but do you think the police should be called equally on both people because they're committing an equal crime, or because of the circumstance it varies?
I think that you gotta put a stop to it on both sides, but lighter sentences, less punishment, because while the person that's homeless and goes into Applebee's and steals a meal is still doing wrong, it's just more understandable. But there are other ways to get a meal too,
But I think it gets tricky when you get circumstantial, because then what if somebody gets as deep as saying, okay, well, why is this person homeless? You can have one person homeless because something really happened out of their control, and there can be another person who's stealing from Applebee's who's homeless because they done stole from their family, they done smoked up all their money, whatever the case may be, and it's like their fault. You know what I'm saying? It's self-inflicted. So then do you look at that like, okay, with this person who it's not their fault they're homeless, I understand their situation, but the person who it is their fault they're homeless, they definitely going to jail. Like, do we always have to look at the circumstance in every single situation? You know what I'm saying? Or is it just the fact that you showing up here, you not paying, it's just flat out wrong?
I'll go back to Heart Check with Janessa. That's what I'll go back to.
But that's what I'm saying. I know it, but I'm saying, but do you heart check every single case is what I'm saying? Or
I think we should. I think that definitely you should have the ability to look at a situation and judge it as an individual situation, as opposed to just broad strokes is where you always get in trouble. Yeah, because like you said, people will go super logical on you and say, well, what about this? What about that? There's always somebody that's looking to tear down an argument. So you kind of, I mean, that's why we have judges, not just laws, we have judges to kind of look at a situation and go, okay.
But I'm saying, but who judges that in church though? When you're looking at like the same scenario.
I mean, I think I think who judges in church. It's kind of the one that's supposed to be judging everything. So I mean, yeah, if you've got a decent job, or you got, you have the ability to contribute to the church, and you go, and I'm not even gonna put like that fine a point on it, because what if I'm just a visitor? Is it stealing then? I've noticed that visitors are more likely to give extra offering than people that go to that church regularly, because they just feel like they have to, or they should. When you get super comfortable in a place though, like you never act the same way in front of strangers as you do around your family. Why? Because you're super comfortable with them. So that's usually when some of your dirt comes out.
Right.
Kelly,
what you about to say?
Better unmute that.
It was, it was a long time ago. I don't know if it's relevant or if I even remember at this point.
Okay.
Yep.
Well, no, that's fine. So I did look this up because I remember thinking about this scripture when Terry brought this up at the end of last episode. So Malachi 3:8. Will a man rob God? Yet ye have robbed me, but ye say, wherein have we robbed thee? In tithes and offerings. Just to read 9 and 10 real quick. Ye are cursed with a curse, for ye have robbed me, even with this whole nation. Bring ye all the tithes into the storehouse, that there may be meat in mine house, and prove me now herewith, saith the Lord of hosts, if I will not if I will not open you the windows of heaven and pour you out a blessing, that there shall not be room enough to receive it. So that's the whole scripture in reference to, I guess, the Bible talking about robbing from God. He said it's in the tithes and offerings. This is my question though. What if you pay to the church, but you don't actually like pay the 10%? Like, what if you just dropping 5%?
So my father.
Go ahead, Kelly.
I'm sorry. I wish, because I'm gonna be short. I wish I would have consulted with him prior to today. So my father has like levels of giving, right or wrong, whether people agree with it or not, And so at one level, at one end of it, you have those people that give a tenth or more plus their offering, and then at the other end of the spectrum, you have the people who, don't give anything at all. I think it's like 4 levels on the spectrum, not levels, but 4 kind of spots on the spectrum.
Tiers.
And so there's 2 in the middle. And I know one is a consistent giver and another one is, I can't remember. And his thing is always, because of course, my father is, as a pastor, give your tithes and your offering, but understanding that, that everyone isn't quite there yet and giving a 10th, whether you have it all, whether you don't, whether I can give a 10th and it doesn't impact my bills, or whether I may have to forego a light bill or my light bill to give a 10th and then trust the Lord for that light bill. Is what they'll tell you in the church, to give that 10th, and for whatever bill.
He said that's what they'll tell you at the church. Kelly, so you said you don't believe that. That's what that statement. That's what I felt in that statement. Like,
I'm just saying. I'm just saying that is when you get those churches, and I've gone to a couple of different churches. When you go to those churches, and
Kelly, like last time I did that shit, my lights got turned off.
You said what?
I said you like last time I paid that 10%, my lights got turned off. I ain't doing that.
But I promise you, that is what I've heard in church, and I'm not speaking about my church, but just I've been to a lot of different churches. Funny. But that's what I've heard. Y'all have heard that, like
no, facts. Absolutely.
You give your 10th first, and then you live your life with the rest of it, and what you can't do, you trust God for. Is what they is what they're going to say, which is one very faith-based way of seeing it. In a outside of faith, in a real world sense, most people or a lot of people may let me pay my bills first and let me see where I can give, to the church. So it kind of answers the question: is it considered stealing to attend church for free? Church, there isn't a cost on church. Like Terry mentioned, should there be a cover charge? There isn't a cover charge, $20 to get in church, and then you get in, or $20 there isn't a cover charge to church. If there was, and you didn't pay the cover charge, then yes, you would be stealing, just like if you walk.
And let me ask you, but why do people feel okay to pay a cover charge at a club but not church though?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, was like all the times I've paid for a comedy show,
But I'm saying, but even a comedy show is going to see specific acts, though. But I'm saying people go to a club to hear music that they can play at home for free. But they will pay to get in there.
I don't think they go to hear music, but that's fine.
Well, Jesus died on the cross for free. So
was it free though?
It was free for us. Jesus had.
Oh well, yeah, for us.
Yeah, he seemed pretty upset about it at the time.
So it was free. So how do you, when Jesus makes the ultimate sacrifice for free, like, and I just don't see how the church can set a cover charge like that. To me, that's just not God. That's saying you have to pay to get to me. That's not God at all. So no, it doesn't make sense to have a cover charge. And honestly, you don't necessarily need church the way we see it to have a relationship with God. You don't need the Mercedes-Benz Stadium or whatever. You don't need a building. You don't need pyrotechnics and strobe lights and
wherever two or more.
Literally, that's it. So I think to a certain extent, we, even though the Bible does talk about tithing, I think the way church is set up today, some churches, not all, they need that money to fund their situation, their setup. Right. But according to the Bible, did the Bible really say you needed this, 15,000 square foot building and what is it called? The smoke and the number one hottest gospel artist as your praise and worship leader. And did the Bible really say that? Where did that come from? Who said that? Because I don't think he had God.
I mean, it did not say it though.
It did not. But I would just say, if we're using the Bible as an example, and you look at Paul and his journeys, like I just didn't quite pick up that Paul set up churches that had a coffee cafe in the front and
right.
Well,
I don't know, all the stuff that we see today in some churches.
Well, I would equate it to, like, let's say you go into a place and it has a coffee machine and you go to get a cup of coffee and it has a little box next to it and it says honor system coffee 50 cents. If you take that coffee and drink it, but you don't put your 50 cents in, did you steal the coffee? Because that's kind of what it goes off of. Churches operate under the honor system that everybody's going to help.
Pay for your coffee, you need to make it clear. Coffee is 50 cents. Put your money here. If you
right, and if you're going to go to a church, they expect you to help out where you can.
But that's and to Terry's point, what he's saying is like if because the church does operate off that same honor system, like we're saying, hey, pay the 10%. And offering. Now, offering can be whatever. It's no percentage on that, but 10% and offering. But let's just say, like, if everybody did that, I'm pretty sure a lot of churches would have a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Than even what they currently have. But even like Kellie, who's the daughter and the niece of men who pastor big churches. Like, even, what I'm saying? Like, even she out here, like, what I'm saying? Like, and she got a good job. You know what I'm saying? It ain't, so it's not even about, and I'm not like picking on you. I'm just saying, but it's not even about necessarily, am I the person struggling? Am I the homeless one? It's, even sometimes, like, I think we go against the grain, even myself. I ain't even picking on Kellie. I'm just saying all of us. We go against the grain and not just say consistently do what we're supposed to, and then when we don't get the pour you out a blessing that you don't have room enough to receive, when we don't get that, we looking funny. But did we actually give, just say how we supposed to? You feel what I'm saying? Or and because I feel like in anything, whether you talking about Bible, human principles, whatever you want to call it, like you get what you put in, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to get out what you put in of anything, you know what I'm saying? And I feel like if you give 30%, like when it comes to tithing, exercise, dieting, studying, like you gonna get that back. You're not gonna get the pour you out of blessings. You don't got room enough for receiving anything. You ain't gonna get that in muscles. You ain't gonna get that in education. You ain't gonna get that in nothing if all you're putting in is a certain amount. So I do think that I guess it is robbing in the sense of from God, because I think a lot of times we humanize it and we look at the church like, oh man, I ain't giving that pastor my money. This nigga finna be driving around, you know what I'm saying? I spent, flying around in my money. And that is the case in some churches. You feel what I'm saying? I'm not saying that's not the thing, but at the same time, it's there is a scripture, if you believe in just say the Bible being, God's word and not just written by man and all these different things, whatever. It's that saying, if you do this, this is what I'll do. But the real question is, when is the last time or ever that we've ever fully done that to see if not just, if I give this, will he pay my light bill by the end of the month? Will I actually be balling? You know what I'm saying? From blessings or whatever like that, that I just got to pass it out because I don't even have enough room to keep them because I consistently gave that 10%, or do I keep giving how I'm giving and I just get, the little bit back, from what I'm putting in.
So something I was going to say earlier, kind of to your point, Rudy, I believe. So the way I look at it is, to answer the question, is it considered stealing to attend church for free? I would say no. I feel like tithing is a personal, spiritual thing, relationship that I have with God. So my question for myself, like I said, I've already admitted to you guys that I don't tithe as often as I should. I do tithe, but I do more of a quarterly basis on a bi-weekly basis. But is it a sin? Is me not giving a tenth of my entire income for the year? Am I sinning? Is it the same as the Bible saying don't have sex before marriage, don't kill, respect your parents, all of those things? Is me not doing it? Am I sinning? Now, on the other end of that, if the answer is yes, for we all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And I sin in a lot of different ways on a daily basis. But for me, like I said, when we posed the question last week, it really made me think. It was supposed to make me think. I just refused to think about it. But I was supposed to reflect on where do I need to do better as it relates to tithing. Because again, I'll be really honest with you guys and transparent. All right, I've spent however much money to be in California for, a week and a half. But out of that check where I spent $500+ on a ticket, I did the first class. That was a no-brainer last week. Hey, do I do first class? Easy.
Was it worth it?
Pay $130.
Hey, it was lit though, huh?
Oh yeah.
Was it worth it? That's all I'm saying. Because I remember you asking.
Yes, it was. So I did do it. The only thing was that my flight was 4 hours delayed, and so I did leave to like 10 something. So I slept most of the flight. So I missed all of my unlimited drinks. Some of it I stayed up for a minute for the first 3, but I needed a couple more. But anywho, but things like that where it's easy, but I need to do better on. But Kellie, like I said, when you tithing, and even if it's not the entire 10th every month, Kellie, you need to give something every month. Because I do feel like you read in the Bible, like tithing is in the Bible, giving a tithe and an offering is in the Bible. And I don't necessarily do it for the church building, for the pastor, for the whatever. I do it because that is what God has asked of me. And it's kind of like, and I don't know who you give your money to, but when you give your money to like an organization, and when you put it for building fund, and then they say they have the right to redirect your funds however they, for me giving that money to the church, I then have to trust that the church is going to do what's right with my money, which means that I may not, give to the churches where I don't agree with how the pastor is living, because if you decide to redirect my funds to the jet fund, then I ain't with, I may not be with that, or I may be, or whatever.
Right.
But I feel like tithing is more of a personal thing that I have with the Lord. It doesn't really have for me, it doesn't necessarily have to do with the church. But to Terry's point and kind of what we've talked about, I do think that it is our duty as members of a church to give back, to the church, be it our time, our resources, our, professional help, whatever it is that I do think it's our obligation. But tithing, I feel like is a personal thing. I don't get consequences from the church from not tithing, but there is a spiritual kind of turmoil that I'm in with the Lord, with Jesus, with God about me not tithing. So for me, it's directed to the church. That's just because that's where I give it, but it's really more of a between me and God.
Gotcha.
Well, who's worse, the person that goes to church every week and never gives anything, or the person that's got a bunch, so they give a lot, but they just do it for showboating? They just want to be Nino Brown handing out turkeys at Thanksgiving.
I mean, that's a good question, because that even goes into even just like, people ask the question, like when celebrities like do charity or, even hand out stuff during like, school drives or whatever, turkey drives, like, should they be putting it on camera and publicizing it, or should they just do it? You know what I'm saying? Like, but like some people may say like, well, they show it to be like a good example to encourage other people to do it. But at the same time, it could be some people who just doing it for show, for publicity to help their brand. You know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know. I think it's a catch-22. I think it always goes back to the heart and the intentions, obviously. You know what I'm saying? But it's always people on both sides, I think, of each coin, no matter what the situation is.
But I'll say this, and it's kind of to your point, but not, and this may sound bad. I think the church appreciates, so not to this point, but to your earlier point. So your point about the story with the woman who gave her last 2 pennies, and then the person who gave, hundreds of thousands of dollars or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I think the church appreciates both. Because let me tell you, whether the person is doing it to showboat and I gave Doolittle Christian Ministries $1 million, and they want to tell the world about it on Instagram. Let me tell you, Doolittle Christian Ministries is just fine with that $1 million check that they just got. If it came about legally.
But should Doolittle what if that person asks Doolittle to do something for them, like publicize, like make, whatever, like if I give y'all this $1 million, just say, some type of barter or whatever, like, do you think that that's right or wrong when it comes down to just say the ministry, Doolittle Ministries?
Well, what Rudy just described is what a lobbyist in Washington. It would be the same as a lobbyist. I'm going to give you this money, but I want you to do this things with it. But
not even that they're controlling what they do with the money. I'm saying if I just say, like, if I attend your church and I just say I'm gonna pay 100,000 in the tithes and offering every Sunday, for however long, for a year, for 2 years, whatever, I want you to make me just say the face of whatever, or make me the, what I'm saying, some type of trade for my, since I'm giving this church this much money, I want some type of title, position, or something named after me, or whatever the case may be.
Like an ambassador.
But I'm saying, right, but what I'm saying is, but would the church be wrong for agreeing to that, for that money? To your point about saying, I'm sure they'll be just fine, even if that person wanted to showboat. But what if the showboat was brought to the church to be a part of that, to help that brand? You're on mute, Kelly.
That's it. Well, now I hear my echo. That's I don't know. I don't know.
The Lord smited me.
Let me say,
for my blasphemy.
I know what my dad would say. And I haven't thought too deep about it, but he would say no, because that's not, if that's what you're giving for, your intentions are wrong. Like it shouldn't even be about you. So it should be about you want to give from your heart. You're trying to please God. You're not trying to please man. So if that's what your intentions are, then having a building or a bus or a park or something named after you is the wrong intentions. And my dad, and we can talk about this as well, will tell somebody no. Just like he has preached literally from the pulpit. If you won the lottery and you want to tithe your 10% from the lottery, you better not tell him, because he does not want lottery money. So,
which is just ridiculous, by the way. That's
look, he said don't win. So when I win, okay, you don't have to find a creative way.
He gonna say that until the 10% be like 500 million. He like, well, I mean,
no. See, my father used to say that. He used to say stuff like that, but he didn't say it anymore.
Hey, so
now he just goes, "God can work anything for good."
So let me ask you this, Janessa, because I was gonna ask this even before you said the whole lottery thing. So like, if that same person gave to the ministry, but they didn't necessarily ask for the trade-off, but they were boastful about it. They like on their own Instagram, whatever like that. Like, would your dad, or even whether it's him or just your whole personal thought in general, do you think that pastor gives that money back to disassociate themselves with somebody who has that spirit on them, who's that's because even with them not asking the church to do something, that can still be looked at as them giving for the wrong intention, to be able to say, oh look, I donate here, I give to this church, I pay for this, I got this, you know what I'm saying? Like, so would the pastor give the money back then because they don't want to be associated with that, or would, just like kind of Kelly mentioned earlier, the ministry be just fine because they still receive the $1 million, even though that person is on their own separate, brand build?
I don't know. I have a feeling my dad wouldn't take the money because that's just how he is. But if I was the pastor, I would take it.
Well, and I got cut off before when I lost my signal or whatever. But as far as giving, to be boastful, to be Nino Brown, I think it hits the same note as like Matthew 6:6, right? It says, go into your inner room, go into your closet when you pray. Don't do it in the congregation to be boastful in front of others. It's supposed to be private. It's supposed to be a good thing. You're not supposed to use this for your ego, I think, is the general vibe. Now, I was just talking about praying, but I think the same thing could be said about giving.
So even if it's charity, like you doing charity work, like you doing some type of giveaway, some type of drive or whatever, like don't take pictures of the function, don't take video.
Take pictures if you want, if you're trying to spread it.
But I'm saying, but that's not doing it in private.
It's not doing it in private, but if you're trying to just get the word out, if you're trying to multiply that by getting other people involved, that's one thing. But if you're doing it, again, it's that heart check. If you're doing it to go, look how many likes I got, you know what I mean? Then that's different.
Go ahead, Kelly.
So, well, I really like the heart check piece. I'm gonna use that. Thanks, Janessa. But I don't know. I'm struggling with this whole, is it wrong to, okay, we have a food drive, and we took pictures and posted it on Facebook and we said that we had a food drive, or we went out to feed the homeless, and we went live, from the spot and, showed that we, that we fed the homeless. Like, I mean, again, like the heart check, please. Is, I think it's all about intentions and where your heart is. I don't think it's wrong for a ministry to document that, to post that.
But see, that's the thing. It's the key word there is we. We is not a selfish thing. I is a selfish thing. So if you posted, we went out and did a food drive today, that's great. But if I posted pictures of me at the food drive and said, look at me out here helping these people, you know what I mean? now I'm boasting myself,
like
not
as the pastor of the church, or as the what do you mean?
as anyone. Well, if I was in your group on your food drive and just kept tagging and posting and going live for myself, saying, "Look at what I'm doing out here helping out," then I'm taking all that shine and putting it on me and not on the ministry.
True, I think it's true. But I like, again, I'm gonna keep using it. I think it's a heart check in your intentions. I think sometimes for me, I feel like we're so overloaded with negativity. So I follow a lot of the blog sites, the Shade Room and Baller Alert and all of those things. And so I get my daily dose of drama and who went to jail and who's fighting on Instagram and here was a clapback and here was this and that or whatever. That I appreciate the times when, who was that the other day? Kodak Black was giving TVs to people and air conditioning to people in his neighborhood, and he may have been doing it just to, to make himself look good with all the craziness that he does too. For me, who cares? Because what he didn't have to do was give air conditioning to anybody, know? And so to see that he wanted to do that for his community and he wanted to live stream or take pictures or do whatever, or maybe somebody took pictures for him and posted it. Maybe, he was just doing it and he didn't do it on purpose. I think for me, like I said, even ministry wise, I feel like, man, this is a genuine ministry. They're giving back to the community, with food drives, with mental health awareness workshops, with these type of things. I feel like, again, I think it's a heart check. I think it's intentions. I think, I think all of those things are important, but do I think it's wrong for someone to do good and post it? Nah, because we see all sorts of crazy shit on the internet. Let me get some good in there too. Excuse me, guys, for cursing.
I am totally fucking offended.
Damn it.
But let me get some good. Like I said, even with the celebrities that's doing it just to, at the same token, one, they don't have to. Two, social media rules the world, and the people out here are super impressionable. So as much as they want to throw drinks and fight and argue like the Real Housewives or whatever, let them pass out air conditioning and shoes and socks and feed the homeless and whatever too. Show it all is my thing.
I guess money's different, at least at our church, because my dad is special. But I know we had a situation where, this is many, many years ago, Ludacris, the rapper, did a turkey drive at our church. And
Chris Lover.
Yes. He did a turkey drive. And from the church's perspective, this is like, when I say this was so long ago, like social media wasn't popping like that at all. But from the church's perspective, they didn't post a picture. They didn't send out a memo. It wasn't in the bulletin. It was so low key because that's just how our church operates. Like when we give, we just give. But also at the same time, all the news outlets were there. It was for Thanksgiving. Other people posted it, but I can say from the church's perspective, they weren't trying to get any accolades or look at us, we're doing this. It was more so, we teamed up with this artist or his organization or whatever to give back to the community. But like Kelly said, you can't just stop people from taking a picture or saying, hey, Ludacris is giving turkeys out at this location or whatever. So yeah, it goes, it's not just so cut and dry. Church is different, for whatever reason, church is different.
I still want to know, why is it okay for us to pay to get in the club a cover charge, but we can't charge it at the cover at the church? At the church, at least you paying to get something. At the club, you finna pay to go inside to pay for high overpriced drinks, listen to a playlist you got on your phone, but you're doing it just to be amongst people, see other people, let everybody see a little outfit or whatever the case may be. But you go to church, you getting substance, but we don't want to pay for that though. That should be free.
The churchy version is Jesus paid it all, okay?
But
and besides, going to the club, everybody knows at this point, You pay your $20 cover charge because it's a bet. I'm putting $20 down and hoping that I get laid. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the thing that everybody's thinking is like, this is my $20 and this is a bet. And if I win, I meet somebody new. And if I don't, it's $9 beer night. So
I guess, Terry. But what I will like, what if the cover charge was like the tithe? What if it was the 10%? Like and that's whatever your 10% is. But like, what if that was the cover charge? Like,
that's
would
gonna
that
be a fancy church?
I'm saying, but would they be wrong for? Because see, what makes a church a non-profit is because they don't want to force the golden rule, if you will. Hey, tithe. Like, tithing is definitely something God is serious about. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not, even though it's not pressed upon people. Like God, he ain't mentioning it more than once just because he felt like, bringing it up again. So like, it's definitely a thing to him at least, but why is it so bad if it was required as the price tag? So like, to Terry's point, now it is just say a product like food, more or less. And if you don't pay the 10%, you bucking. Like you robbing the church. Like, you robbing God. You a thief. You are a thief because you are not paying your 10% to get, you know what I'm saying?
And by the way, God mentions money in the Bible only second to love. So it's love and then money.
Terry, cite your sources, Terry. I'm tired. I'm tired of you just you always throwing stuff out there.
No, I'm saying money is mentioned. The number of times that money is mentioned in the Bible is number 2 out of all the. I'm
aware of what you're saying. What I'm saying is you need to show us that, because you be throwing out. You be throwing out facts. I want to make sure we are quoting you correctly. We are quoting wherever this is coming from.
It's from one of my father's sermons, so I'm assuming he wasn't lying. So
pull up the sermon. We want to give us that clip. We can plug it in right here. See Terry Wayne Sr. preaching.
That's right. Well, you can ask him about it one day.
Gotcha. All right. Kellie, unmute yourself and give us our church announcements, please.
We need church announcement music.
Janessa is working me with this edit. She has, but see, I can't. She actually she does her job. She helps out a lot. She comes up with topics. It's hard for me to tell her no, because it's like, she's working harder than me. So it's like when she makes me do something else, it's like, okay.
We don't have to have church announcement.
No. Fuck it. You said you want it. We're gonna get church announcement music.
And Kellie, you have to come in with the giving glory to God or giving honor to God, who's the head of my life. You got to come in with that. We gonna be churchy. We gotta be churchy.
All right.
Yeah, you two are the saints here. Okay. You're supposed to be lifting us up.
Go ahead.
Which two?
You and Janessa.
Kellie.
It's not on the screen.
Oh, so, I was waiting for you to start. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Okay.
Of course, you guys know where to find us at The Worst Ones PK on Instagram. Like we talked about in the beginning, we check those DMs, we look at those likes, those comments. We respond back. We talk about it on the show. We want to be interactive. We're going to do more things on there. So we want you guys to follow us, get your friends to follow us, get your family members to follow us, your cousins, your brothers, your sisters, everyone on The Worst Ones PK. It's going to be lit real soon. And then when you want to listen to us, you make sure that you can go to YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, look for The Worst Ones Podcast. Our viewership has just been increasing by just astronomical numbers. So we thank you guys for just telling your friends, telling your people about us. Continue to do it. I know, won't he do it? Won't he do it? And of course, when you're on the podcast, make sure you subscribe, make sure you like, make sure you comment. Again, we're looking at it all. We'll respond to it all. If there's something that you want us to talk about on the podcast, if it's something that you just want to know about our personal lives, let us know. We share everything here. So thank you all.
And just as a recap, because at least on my end, Kellie's internet was a little choppy. At the Worst Ones PK on Instagram, the Worst Ones podcast on all other platforms, YouTube, Spotify, and make sure you type in the full thing, the Worst Ones podcast, and we will pop up. And make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Miss Rowland, it's on you.
Yes, you can find me at Melanated Brews, all things coffee, tea, and beer. I didn't actually go visit a place this week. I went to Old Faithful, which is Dunkin' Donuts.
Gotcha.
If you have not had their butter pecan swirl, I highly suggest it. I probably get it at least once a week. I go to Dunkin' Donuts. That's who needs to be our sponsor, Terry. I go to Dunkin' Donuts at least 5 times a week.
Gotcha.
So yes, follow me, Melanated Brews, for everything coffee, tea, and beer. I did not go somewhere this week. I will definitely go somewhere before next podcast, and I'll let you know. We have fun over there.
Liddy. Terry Wayne Comedy.
It's Terry Wayne Comedy everywhere, all the places. Stamps.com for all your postage needs at home. And our new sponsor this week is Murray's Hair Cream. Just buy one can. It'll last forever. I still have one.
There you go.
Yeah.
All right.
So I'll be waiting for those checks, Murray, and USPS.
Command Strips and Duncan.
There you go. And New York Film Academy.
Yeah.
Kellie, you cannot do that on the church podcast.
What did she do? Pop her shirt?
No, she raised up a part of her body so we could read the shirt.
I was trying to show you my shirt.
It was not the part of the body that that should be lifted at a time like this. If you are listening to this on audio, do not go to YouTube.
Will you cut that out?
Definitely go to YouTube. It's at the end. It's easy to find.
Jesus Christ. We'll see. Well, I as long as it's not cutting off Terry, I'll cut it out. Yeah. We'll do something.
Terry, go again.
We'll do something. At the podcast official page, we film on live on Zoom, which is where we want you to be when we film. Join us 815-499-0955, the last Monday of each month. The last episode that we recorded, it will come out this upcoming Monday. What was it? Life partners versus marriage, or marriage versus life partners. Very interesting conversation. And we got to keep the ball rolling. So if you guys want to join us, like I said, the last Monday of each month, follow us at the podcast official page. Definitely make sure you type all that in, because if you type in just the podcast, you're going to see way too many podcasts pop up. But the podcast official page on every single platform: Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, Spotify, Blase Squad. All righty. This was a great conversation, guys. Everybody's souls fed, all hearts and minds clear. Any prayer requests? Any souls need to be saved? Turn to your neighbor.
Just mine.
I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do.
Nothing you can do about it. Oh, and I remembered, you want the outro music.
That's right.
Wait, let me get it queued up. And first let me turn this off. This is awkward. Wait, guys. This is still getting used to this. Okay. Everybody, two's in there. All right. Thank you guys for listening. We out.
Top of the world.